Here's the exercises you should be doing for each of the 3 stages of frozen shoulder, including home exercises that are based on what's often neglected in frozen shoulder routines, Mulligan mobilisations. There's 3 phases or stages to frozen shoulder: the freezing stage, the frozen stage, and the thawing stage. In the freezing stage, the shoulder is becoming more and more painful and restricted. The joint capsule around the shoulder socket gets inflamed, and that leads to fibrosis, a thickening and tightening of the joint capsule that restricts the shoulder's motion. You don't want to add to the inflammation of the capsule by doing any treatment that's painful, because that can lead to more capsular fibrosis. But you have to maintain what mobility you can. So here's where we do our pendulum exercises. They help you to maintain mobility within the shoulder without irritating the capsule more during this stage. With your good hand on a table, bend forward and let your bad arm hang completely relaxed and move your body to get some gentle movement forward and backwards, from side to side, and in gentle circles. Try to use your body to create the movement rather than the muscles of the sore arm. Holding a ½ kilo or 1 pound weight can add a nice traction component, so do that if it feels good. Keep within a pain-free range of motion the whole time. Then we enter into the frozen stage, where the pain reduces but you're stuck with a very restricted shoulder. When you feel like you can do more with your shoulder without irritating it, you want to start to mobilize it further into 4 different directions: flexion, extension, abduction, and external rotation. Now you can just use classic broomstick handle exercises, but here's where you can start to add the Mulligan mobilisations too. All the research into Mulligan's techniques for the shoulder indicate that it helps to achieve superior results for frozen shoulder cases. So here's some home exercise variations of Mulligan's techniques that you can do by yourself. In the standard mobilisation, you hold on to a mop handle with your affected arm and move your body to stretch your arm towards its limit in flexion. Move your body down until the shoulder flexes just to the point of pain but no more. Hold for 5 to 10 seconds and then return and repeat that 10 times twice a day. To add a Mulligan variation, start off by putting a rolled up cloth for padding into the valley between your pecs and the deltoid. Then press back and slightly out to about 30 degrees on the head of the humerus, which is just underneath the deltoid muscle. This pushes your shoulder back deeper into the shoulder socket. Then do the same mop handle motion. If this feels more comfortable and you can raise your arm further, hold the shoulder back as you mobilize your arm in that direction. By holding the shoulder back into its socket more, you're reducing the tension in the shoulder capsule and giving yourself extra motion. The same is then done in abduction, 10 times with 5-second holds. Again, try pressing the head of your humerus back into the shoulder socket, and if that feels better or it gives you a greater range of motion, add that component. But don't add the Mulligan variation if it increases any discomfort. It should be pain-free. If the pressure of your hand pressing against your shoulder feels a bit tender, just make sure that you're below the coracoid process of your shoulder, which is a slight bony protuberance underneath the upper part of the deltoid. Next, we do the same for extension, 10 times with 5-second holds, adding a Mulligan variation if it feels better, all within a pain-free range of motion to reduce any inflammation. And for external rotation, we tuck our elbow into the side of our rib cage and just use the corner or a door frame to rotate our arm out. Again, with or without the Mulligan pressure on the head of the humerus, depending on how it feels. Finally, we get to the thawing stage, where the movement starts to return to the shoulder. Here's where you can start to use the muscles of the bad shoulder more to help to regain some of the strength that's lost during frozen shoulder. So start this as soon as you can do it without irritating your shoulder. Here you can walk your fingers up a wall to the shoulder's maximum height in flexion, hold for 5 seconds and repeat 10 times twice a day. Add the Mulligan mobilisation, pushing back and out slightly if it feels better that way. The same can be done in abduction. Now, when you can extend your arm behind your back, you can actually start to lift it up to increase the internal rotation too. You can actually grab a towel pulled by the other arm to assist it a bit here, but still try to use the muscles of the thawing shoulder to lift the arm where you can. And for external rotation, start to use the muscles of the thawing arm to move the shoulder rather than doing it passively. Now 15 months is the average duration of frozen shoulder, but hopefully with those Mulligan mobilisations you can reduce that substantially. Now just be aware that 15% of people can get some ongoing issues with frozen shoulder, so make sure you keep doing the exercises until you get to 100%. Okay, there you go. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing because it always really helps, and let me know how you go in the comment section below. Okay, cheers.